Am I just rolling with it? This is my show.
I mean, I can do
This
this
is
one.
mine.
I can. Oh, okay. I mean, if
mine.
you want
I'm
it to be
taking
yours,
claim.
that's fine.
Hello,
I'll just
everyone.
sit here and sip my coffee.
Really?
Yep.
Hello, everyone. And welcome to What's Happening Podcast, episode 3. Let's go. Give it up for episode 3, everybody.
Woo, woo. I hear all the clapping.
Yep.
Wait, give it a moment.
You'll
Thank you.
notice if you're watching the video version, we have spruced up the production value of it all has really just gone up.
Hell yeah.
Got some plants,
Oh
got
my-
some lights. We have a Soy Cute poster.
Yeah, we filled in the weird rectangle that was open for the first 2 episodes.
Yep. All in all, things are on the rise for the What's Happening pod.
Just wait, world.
Yeah, overall, you can clearly tell we're doing well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Clearly.
the money we got from the last one was crazy.
Just helped us push everything further.
The funny thing is that we've spruced up like the aesthetic of it.
Yeah.
But my appearance has only gone down. Episode 1, I looked nice,
Yeah.
we'll say. Episode 2, I don't even remember what I was wearing. Episode 3, my hair's disheveled. My beard, well, you can't call it that. I'm 23 and I can't grow a beard. But that's there. And I'm wearing MeUndies pants.
You're not just wearing Mandy's, you're wearing their pants.
Yeah, and a Joel Embiid jersey.
I mean, to be fair though, like, even if the way we have to set this up, you can't like fully see. So
My pants?
like, we're pretty far away.
Oh,
I can like barely even see your pants.
that's true.
So
Well, yeah, you're sitting across from me. You'd
Right.
have to look under the table to see my pants.
right, sorry, I would never. So what's happening?
Let's get into it. First off, who are you?
I'm Shelby.
I'm Spencer. Okay, we should
Wow.
probably introduce ourselves, just so people
What if we
can
forget
differentiate
and
between the voices.
What
So
if
now
I
they know
forget?
that this voice is Spencer.
And this voice is
Shelby, perfect.
Shelby.
Shelby, how have you been? What's been going on? How was your week?
I mean, overall, I guess like my like week and a half, because we do this like every other. Hasn't been too bad actually, you know. Some ups, some downs, but I feel like overall it was a pretty decent week. That was it. It's been chill, you know, just hanging out, kind of
Okay.
working at the car wash. Whoa. How was yours?
It's been great.
Yeah.
Yeah, things have been on the up and up,
Yeah.
obviously. We've been talking about it. We're going places,
Yeah. Are we?
for sure.
I think, as quoted by the famous Sierra episode, we're not quite there. She said episode 4 is where you blow up. So
Yeah?
I think one more episode and we're going to make it.
Holy shit.
Yeah, like we thought we were getting there, and now just you wait.
Next episode,
Next-
this is our blow up.
Exactly.
I can't wait.
That's the title of it.
All right, well, let's get into what's been happening.
Yeah.
Obviously, we need to start with a bit of a weird, not current at all.
Is any of us really that current?
Yes, I
Well,
would
it's current
say
for us.
4 of these things are
Not like
pretty
me.
current. 3 of them, sure.
Okay, just start.
Wow. You read a book,
I did.
which is bananas
Everyone's
to
clapping
think
for me.
that we are in 2020. I didn't think people were still reading.
Technically, it was digital.
Did you read it though?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense that
I'm
you
just
would say
saying,
that.
I need to put all the facts out there. I don't want anyone thinking
Technically, it's
I'm something
digital.
I'm
What does
not.
that mean?
Like, I read it on a
So you
Kindle.
read it.
Yeah. But I didn't have
I
like...
cheated. It was digital.
I cheated.
No, you
I
didn't.
read
You
it
read
on
the
the
entire
computer.
book. You didn't read the entire book. You skimmed it.
I read
We
it.
should. I'm gonna put you on blast. You don't read.
Oh no, Shelby doesn't know how to read.
She's actually illiterate.
I had it read it to me.
See, that would be cheating.
I know that's not cheating. It's just a different form.
That's an
of taking in
audiobook.
information. Yeah,
You didn't read it.
I did read this one.
Right. Nobody reads is what I'm getting at. And then you said, I didn't. It was digital. And I'm like, but you still read it. We're still talking about this, but you
Yeah.
did read it.
Yes.
Which is bananas to me because in 2020 people don't read.
I
Yeah,
love
sure.
reading.
Like future steps, right? Like now we're reading on a device. Now the device is reading it to us. You're stuck on, now I'm reading it on a device.
I'm stuck on reading it on a device that was created in like 2012. So
right.
I'm very behind
so you didn't
on the
cheat.
times.
You're good. You're in the clear. You're
Doesn't
you're
even
putting
have,
yourself out there.
it
Like
does, my device doesn't even have a backlit screen. It's how
It's very
old
bad.
of a device it is.
You skimmed
I read
what book?
The Hobbit.
That's right. And if you guys didn't know, Shelby and I love the universe of Middle Earth.
Yes, very much so.
Um,
That was like one of the first things we bonded over.
yeah, our love of Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
And then we eventually got around to watching the terrible movies known as The Hobbit. Yeah. I mean, realistically, the Lord of the Rings movies, they're nothing special, right?
No.
I have an appreciation for them.
I just love
I
them.
really enjoy them.
Yeah.
But anybody who says like, oh, I didn't really like them, it's really not that crazy of a statement, in my opinion. It bothers me because they're good movies, like I said.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is about the movies that I love so much. I mean, I automatically fall into anything that's like kind of medieval times. I'm immediately, and this isn't quite medieval, but it's like, you know, there's dragons and like there's like creatures.
I would say I normally have you dead peg just fantasy.
Yeah, I'm big into
call
like
this
fantasy worlds.
Wizards.
Yeah.
Sword fighting.
Yeah. Sorry, my brain
Dragons.
always connects that to just medieval because that's when like
I mean, I guess
we associate that as like a connection kind of in real time.
Do you consider Game of Thrones medieval?
Yeah. Would you not? That's like more medieval than.
I don't know what I consider it. I
Rings.
just consider it fantasy.
Really? You'd consider that fantasy?
Well, in medieval
There's really
times where there are
nothing-
giant ice walls with
Oh, and like ice zombies, basically.
yeah,
I don't know. Do we know?
I guess not. That's a
Technically,
good point.
Technically, we don't know.
Damn, I can't
Wait.
believe they had an ice wall back in medieval times.
Whoa. No, it was in Canada. Canada had an ice wall.
That's true. There probably were ice walls, but
Probably.
thanks to our care of this planet,
Yeah, definitely.
we've lost those.
And they collapsed. Maybe it was ice zombies. Maybe it was just global warming.
No, climate change.
Sorry, maybe it was
Global
climate
warming
change.
is the worst
We
naming convention
can't
ever.
Connect who destroyed the wall.
Okay.
That's whatever. Okay, but yes.
Real quick, global warming.
Oh my
Terrible
God.
naming convention.
Okay. Is that it? Can I continue talking about?
Because think
fantasy?
about it.
That's a no.
When it's 40 degrees in June, don't come at me with global warming. That's some climate change. Just sounds better. Okay. So
yeah.
The Hobbit is how old?
I can't do math.
Just say the year.
Isn't it like the 34? Or is it 43?
There you go.
It's in the 30s.
I think it's the 30s.
I could look it up really quick.
That
Is bananas.
blew my mind a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I knew it was older. Like, but I thought like
30s?
I thought it would be like, oh, it came out in like the 70s, 80s. Like that's what I assumed. I was like, oh, it's an older book. It would come out in
The 30s.
that's literally crazy. Which leads me, I'm gonna go down a whole rabbit hole possibly, but I'm gonna try not to. It came out in 1937.
The 30s.
Yeah.
Like the Depression happened in the 20s.
Yeah.
A decade later, The Hobbit came out.
Yeah. Well, crazy fact. Okay, so this leads me down this whole thing. We can talk about The Hobbit and specifics and everything. The whole reason I read it was because I am a big, like, I like to read books before I see the movies. And there's not a ton of examples that I've done the opposite. Except like The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings. But I saw the movies before I even like was into the world of it. So I like never really like paid attention to the books. But I'm a big advocate for like you should read the books and then watch the movies.
I'm indifferent to that.
I just think it's fun. Well, no, I'm not gonna say you should read what the original story was created in and then experience the byproduct of that. So if it was a movie and then some movies now influence books, which is bizarre, I'd say see the movie first and then because it's the original story, it's what was intended by the person who created it. So
Yeah.
I like just getting the original story and then seeing how it's derived. I'm not a super big like, oh, don't watch the movie, it's gonna ruin it for you, because I'm like, you could see it as that, or you could see it as just like this is how someone else artistically interpreted it, or just kind of like it's gonna change. Like you can't do a book page by page in a movie, or people who wouldn't want to watch it most likely. So I'm not super picky on like this movie destroyed the story. It's just like I appreciate getting the original story and then seeing how it was done differently. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? So I have been meaning to read the books for a while, and we have Lord of the Rings, and I started reading it, and then in the beginning they were like talking about Bilbo nonstop, but like it was like weird, and I was like, why is there so much information about the Hobbit in here?
Because it's a prequel.
I didn't, yeah, okay, but I thought, because the movies came out Lord of the Rings then Hobbit, I thought the books came out Lord of the Rings then Hobbit.
Oh.
And I'm an idiot. So that's why I was reading Lord of the Rings, but the beginning was like, oh, and then this happened in the Hobbit, and I was like, but that came later. Like, I know it's before, but it came later. How is this?
How does he have that much?
Here?
Like,
yeah.
How is there that much forward thinking?
Right. Like, how is the Hobbit already written but not published, but you're referencing it in a book? And I was so confused, and I googled it, and I realized it came out like 10-15 years before. I'd have to double check that. Lord of the Rings came out 1954.
That's crazy.
So yeah, so there's like a big gap.
17 years.
Yeah.
A whole baby became a man or woman.
Yeah. Became a person.
Or person.
Yeah. In the span of these two books being made.
Given the time period, it's probably just man or woman.
True.
You probably weren't allowed to be anything else.
True. But yeah, so I was super confused. It was a whole thing.
That is just so crazy. I didn't even realize Lord of the Rings was that old. Like, I knew it was old, but I didn't realize that was 50s. Mm-hmm. It's just insane to think about. Like, we're coming up, relatively speaking, we're a whole person away from The Hobbit being 100 years old.
Yeah.
17 years is the math there again.
Good math.
We called it back.
Also, fun fact, The Hobbit was technically considered children's literature.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of the
most like fantasy.
Highly, yeah, I mean, it makes sense. And so it's one of the most highly like credited children's literature books because it's like old, but it still has held its story throughout the years. Obviously now not most children read it, but...
So I'm guessing most people fall into the camp of...
I don't give a shit about this.
I don't care about reading.
Yeah.
But I watched the movies.
Yeah.
And I don't want to spend too much time on The Hobbit because it's such an old topic at this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's just crazy that in 2020 you read a book that's almost 100 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And it, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, somewhere in that range, it got new media attached to it. Like, it got a movie.
Literally within the last 10 years.
When it was almost 100 years old. So real quick, how does the book hold up, or how does the movie, I guess, technically compare to the book? And anybody who's seen the movie and maybe didn't like the movie, because I honestly don't think the Hobbit movies are good. I think they're just, like, the whole point of Lord of the Rings is, I get it's like a slow burn, right? Mm-hmm. But the Hobbit is...
like an uncomfortable burn,
uncomfortably long burn. It's just not good, right?
I mean, I feel like The Hobbit tried to kind of copy what Lord of the Rings did, basically.
It tried to, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I don't know, it wasn't.
Would you recommend somebody go back and read The Hobbit to actually get the story? And like, is it better to get it through the book than it is the movie? Because it's pretty rare, I think, that it truly is better to consume the media through
reading
book when you can just watch 2 hours. There are plenty of movies, though, to put it out there. There are plenty of movies that ruin.
Yeah, quote unquote.
Air quotes around that. Ruin books because they artistically just don't see it, right? Yeah. What do you think?
Well, I'm not super good at critiquing media because I tend to just like enjoy it, but so I'm sure I'll say something and people who are like hardcore fans, if they were to ever listen to this, would be like, "You're stupid. That's not right."
Which they have a point.
They have a point.
You are stupid.
Yeah, that's fine. I definitely can see, like, the book is so much shorter than, I mean, literally The Hobbit is one book. Lord of the Rings is actually 3 different books. Mm-hmm. So, like, they split one book into 3 movies, which is so, like, painful. Like,
the Hobbit movies are probably 9 hours altogether.
Yeah.
Can you read the book in 9 hours?
I don't remember how many pages it was.
Like,
Probably close.
pretty close, right?
Yeah, because it's not that long
I
of
wonder
a
what the
book.
trade-off is there.
Honestly, it's not that long of a book. I think it's like maybe 300 pages. Maybe.
So even if that took you
Page count was 310.
So if that takes you, let's say that takes you 18 hours, so double what the movies are, is it more worth it to just spend the extra 9 hours reading it instead of watching the terrible, terrible movies?
I don't even know at this point. It's very strange. Because the way it's written is so bizarre because it is like old.
Mm-hmm.
So it's so not comforting to read. It's very just like, this happened and then this happened and then Bilbo did this and then he thought this. It's very like, because it's very children's-y and almost 100 years old. So the writing of it is so not what we're used to reading. At least I'm not in like reading like teen books or more kids books. It's so like almost like janky in the way it's written, but like there's I feel like you understand the story a little bit better, or at least more attention is put into it, because at least in movies, it's kind of hard in movies to like show passage of time. And in the books, they like really stress like this adventure took them a year, like a full-blown year. And in the movies, it feels like it took like weeks. You know, like they're just like, oh, it happened, it was kind of over, and then we did it. And like they like really like dive into that. So I don't know if that's a positive or a negative, but I feel like you get a better feeling of the story. Like that was my biggest thing with like the book versus the movie, was you actually understand the passage of time and like how they like really stress how much effort went into like this whole adventure if it was to be real. So I don't know. I think if you're even mildly interested in the universe, I think it's worth it to go back, obviously. Yeah, it's just weird. Also, my biggest thing with the whole reading it was Bilbo bitches the entire time. Like the entire time. And I feel like in the movie, obviously at first he's like, oh, I left my handkerchief. Oh, this is gonna be so hard. But within like 10 minutes, he like saves them all and he's like, this is gonna be worth it. And like he has those moments, but the whole book he's like, I don't want to do this anymore. And they go, well, you have to. And he's like, but I don't want to. And that's the whole book. And
I feel like you get that from the movie.
I'm not saying you don't get it, but like, oh my God, it comes up constantly.
It makes sense why Frodo is the way he is.
It does. It really does. Like, Bilbo was not happy, like, at all. He would constantly just be complaining about, like, being, like, wet and tired. And he was like, I could be at home sleeping right now. Yeah. And there were so many times. Also, Gandalf in the book made him go. Bilbo didn't have this moment of revelation where he's like, I'm going to do it for the betterment of this group.
He was kind of forced into it in the movies.
I mean, kind of. But again, it's like the way it was played off. You know? Like, in the book, like, Bilbo didn't want to be there. Like, there were moments where he was like, I know this is worth it. I'm not saying he was, like, an unredeemable character. But, like, in the book, it's way more pushed that, like, he didn't want to be there and he's kind of being forced. Obviously, in the end, he saw it was worth it. He had a connection with these people. He wanted to help them. But he still, in his core, was like, this is, like, I'm probably going to die. I could just be at home right now. I could be smoking my pipe. Why am I putting my neck out for these guys? You know, like, all that shit.
You could be at home watching.
Yeah. The Hobbit. No.
Netflix.
Yeah.
Which is what we do all the time.
That is what we do all the time. Are you trying to branch us into the next
I was
thing?
trying to do a segue.
It's okay. You're doing great. But yeah, basically, it was very interesting.
Does it get your seal of approval? Like,
or
is it only if you're into the world?
I think it's only because I'm into the world. I think if you were to just be like, oh, like if you knew nothing about it and you were like, oh, I know this is a classic, I should read it.
Just watch the movies?
Maybe. Because then you get the story. I don't know. I just think if you don't have any interest in it and then you pick up the book, you're going to kind of feel whatever about the book.
Hard to read.
Think so. I think I'm only connected to it because I love the universe.
Gotcha.
So, like, I almost had to, like, force myself to appreciate it at moments. But you also can look at it and be like, wow, I just read something that's almost 800 years old. And
did you say 800?
100. 800.
Whoa.
But, yeah. So, I then started doing a deep dive into, like, how this coming out at the time it did was such a brain exploding thing. Because it was right after World War I. And, like, the author was in World War I, and so a lot of it was, like, healing trauma, and it's, like, a whole thing. And they studied this, and The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe both came out at like the same time, and the authors were buddies, and it was a big push for Christianity, and it's a whole thing. There's like a whole study behind these stories coming out in that time period, also connected to the Great Depression, obviously, and it's actually insane. So that adds even more interest to it in like a societal impact way, and literary history, but I'm not going to dive into all of that. But yeah, Netflix. I love it when your eyes are just like, please stop talking about the way you're talking about right now.
Well, we've already spent like a third of the podcast now.
I know, but I could literally talk about this forever.
Yeah,
it was so interesting.
All right, well, let's keep talking.
Nope, that's it. I'm done. I'm done. No one wants to hear me talk about this for an hour.
All right. So the media that we've been consuming, beyond you reading, which is, again, still just crazy, we have watched
a lot.
3 seasons of shows at this point. 3 different shows, too, which is cool. So last time we were talking about season 2 of Altered Carbon.
Oh my God.
We finished that. So real quick.
What'd you think of it?
It was good.
It was so good.
And I think what's cool is I think they can definitely just kind of keep going, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
They can keep creating like new
storylines, basically.
Yeah, and they can use new actors because he can be in like a new skin each time. It's cool.
Very cool.
They could also just stop.
Yeah, I'd be fine either way. I'd be fine because I say this to you all the time, but like I'm so much happier with a show who knows when to stop, and I'll take that like, oh man, like I miss it, I wish there was more, but I'd rather it end in a way that I'm so happy with than me end up being like, oh my God, this is dragging on, but at this point I have to finish it.
Right.
So.
And they kind of had it set up that like it could go either way.
Yeah, they really could at this point.
And I think they're going to do that every single season.
Which is fine.
Because I think every single season could be the last. But the idea is
it could also continue.
He is still out there.
Right.
And because the ability to live forever is essentially there.
When life doesn't end, you have unending possibilities of stories.
Right.
Basically.
But also with shows like this, I mean, it's essentially the same as like any sort of like detective show.
Yep.
In the sense that like pretty much every episode is like crime happens, capture the bad guy, go through like 3 different potential bad guys, get the actual one.
You're probably on the near brink of death, and then you end up
this is dragged out over an entire season.
Yeah.
So, but again, you can only do it so many times before it gets stale.
Yeah, exactly.
But overall, Altered Carbon is a
oh my God,
really good show, and I think I'm happy we finally got around to it.
Me too.
It definitely goes pretty fast. It gets you into it really fast.
Gets you hyped. And you get so connected to the characters. Well, at least I do. I literally, for the whole, I think, last 2 episodes of the final season, I was just like crying the whole time. I was
I really don't know why.
It was such a happy show.
It was, yeah. No, but like it wasn't that sad.
No, it wasn't that sad, but I don't know why. I don't know what it is. Altered Carbon, I was connected to the characters more than I have been for like a while of watching shows. But that's also because I go through phases where I'm like so over TV and then I'm like super into it. Mm-hmm. So I could have just been into it phase. But I don't know, all these characters I like loved because they're all so like it's the classic question of like who's actually right and wrong, and they all have their own ideas and like trying to be redeeming but like also kind of shitty, and it's just like everyone, but like it's just I love the characters. I love the characters in that show so much. I don't know what it is, especially Poe. Poe's my favorite.
Poe's great, yeah.
I love him so much.
I hope they get another season.
Yeah, I'll take 1 or 2 more.
I think I could do 1 or 2 more seasons.
Yeah, and then I think it should probably end.
It's a good show. It's not like my favorite show by any means. It's not the best show I've ever watched.
No.
But if you haven't watched it and you have a Netflix subscription,
I think you'd really like
it. It's a Netflix original that I think is worth it, worth a watch.
Definitely.
And I think it's like, again, just like a cool concept that they don't have to necessarily hold on to any one character. They can
keep swapping it up.
Keep kind of swapping, or like any one actor.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name, the guy that they had.
Last season?
No, the first season. He was in House of Cards.
Yeah, I don't know his name.
He was in other stuff. I think his name's like James something.
I don't know.
And then season 2, same character, different actor. They had Anthony Mackie, aka Falcon
which is awesome.
from the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
He's super fun.
Incredible. He's a really good actor. And it's cool because they have two different acting styles, I would say, for the most part. Like, at least the roles that I've seen, season 1, James, whatever his name is, the stuff that I've seen him in, it was kind of a weird role for him, in my opinion. I don't know if I've ever seen him in like an action-y role. But Anthony Mackie has, obviously, with like being in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and stuff.
Right.
But obviously they have like different tones and the way they talk and stuff like that. But for them to have to talk the same way is really cool. That's a testament. Character. That's a testament to Anthony Mackie, because he has to come in and pick it up. So it's going to be a testament to whoever, if they do another one, if it's a new actor, to come in and have to pick up what Anthony Mackie picked up off of James, I think.
James, I think.
So bad I can't remember.
Shout out to James, I think. Yeah, definitely.
Any final words on Altered Carbon?
No, I don't think so. I just think people should watch it.
A bit dated. The second season is still fairly new.
Yeah.
But overall, like, it's a show
not like
that's
the
been
newest
out.
show.
Yeah. But we finally got around to watching it.
Especially if you're into any kind of futuristic, which I feel like most people are at this point.
Yeah.
It definitely.
It's a cool concept,
it's
and
very interesting.
It definitely. It's a show that you can think about and be like, because it's fairly realistic.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Where you can like say like, well, okay, what if we got to a point like this?
Yeah.
So, all right, the next show that we watched. Now this one we were on top of it, super relevant.
Us being relevant.
Space Force.
Oh boy.
So Space Force is the new space-themed, government-themed comedy from Steve Carell and terrible with names.
Someone who helped create
the creator of The Office. Yeah. So you have two names from The Office on a new comedy. It's gonna be great, right?
Yeah.
It's gonna be the perfect show, because The Office is the perfect show for 5 seasons. Well, for seasons 2 through 5.
Right.
And so this is gonna be just like that. They're gonna pick up right where they left off together. Wrong of you to think that. A lot of people have been giving it crap, I think, or not giving it like a fair shot, because I think they're expecting The Office too much. Don't expect that. If you don't go in expecting that, you can actually, I think, enjoy the show. I think it's a good show. It's funny. It's quick.
Definitely.
It's 30 minutes.
Yeah.
30-minute episodes. So you can get through it really fast. And the best part of that show, Steve Carell is on the face of it, right? The best part of that show is John Malkovich.
I do love his character.
50% John Malkovich.
Yeah.
I love John Malkovich. John Malkovich. Love him. He's a good actor. And whenever he pops up in a movie or a show or something like that, and I didn't know he was in it, I'm instantly like
excited,
like surprised by him. And he always like plays his character extremely well. He was in Bird Box, and I didn't know that he was in Bird Box, and he was really good in that. Like, he was the guy who didn't want to let anybody in the house, and he ends up letting them in, and he's kind of like super skeptical the entire time, and then he ends up like sacrificing himself. Essentially. He always plays a super redeeming character, just like a super like. But in this, he is lead like scientist.
Yeah, essentially.
For the Space Force program, so he's like Steve Carell's number 2 or right hand man, essentially, on the like science side of things.
Right. I'd say basically they have to be hand in hand. Steve Carell is the more army government connection, and obviously John Malkovich is the science brains that are going to get them to be able to do what it is they want to do. So they have to obviously work hand in hand, but it's the classic like, oh, I'm the big tough guy, you Mr. Brains don't know what you're talking about, even though you're literally like the brain of the operation. Like, I'm making the calls. It's the constant dynamic of that, and like government power versus science. And it's I know we talked about it, we were talking about it a good bit like while you were streaming one of the other days, but it's such, for a comedy, and especially if you're used to like the big comedies, they all are very like 90s, early 2000s or something of the sort. You know, like we're all used to the shows that are like that vibe. And this is so today, it almost is uncomfortable.
It's really in your face about it.
So,
it knows what it is.
Yes.
And it doesn't shy away from it.
No.
And it is that's so funny to me.
Oh, I love it.
Like,
but it's very bizarre because I'm not.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, when was the last time we've like had a show that felt so current?
It is so on the nose and it's not afraid to be.
No.
And like I said, I think that adds to it.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, if you're prepared for that, it definitely makes the show more enjoyable.
Yeah.
Like overall, on like a 1 to 10 scale, it's like
okay.
a 6.
Yeah. Like I'm not gonna be screaming through the top. Everyone has to watch it. But like I think you'd enjoy your
if somebody likes a
it.
comedy,
yeah,
and they're like, I have 5 hours to kill.
Like why not?
What should I watch?
Yeah.
Should I watch Step Brothers twice for the 90th and 91st time?
Right.
Or should I watch Space Force? I'm gonna tell you to watch Space Force.
It's fun.
It's fun.
You'll enjoy it.
Ben Schwartz is also extremely funny in it.
Yes.
And I think that comes from us having just watched Middle Edition Shorts, which
everyone should watch. That.
Everybody should absolutely watch that. Whether you're a comedy fan or not, that show's fucking funny.
Yeah. What did I say the other day? I was like, it's Ben Schwartz, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, he is comedy. Like he just is. Like it's not even like he's playing a character. He just is comedy.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, and especially I've never watched anything else with him in it, at least not to my like recollection
Mm-hmm.
of something he's big in. And I was like watching Middle Edition and Schwartz. It's like he basically just took comedy and like went with it. And so like his character in Space Force, I'm like, that's not even a character. That's just like Ben Schwartz.
Okay. Yeah. He in and of himself
He's just
is
a comedy character. Like
because,
what?
like I feel like his character in Space Force, if my memory serves me correctly, is very similar to how he is in Parks and Rec.
Gotcha.
Which is and then just in general is similar to how he acts in the improv show. Like just like the way he delivers stuff and everything is like the same and everything. So there are certain roles that like you can find and go, Ben Schwartz is perfect for that. I really want to see Sonic because he is Sonic, and I'm just like I just want to see more of him now. Like now that he's been in my face continuously with Middle Edition Schwartz, and now he was in Space Force, I'm like, I got to see him in more. I want to see him in more. Because he's funny. He's really funny.
God, he's so funny.
But yeah, overall, the show, it's not like it has like an incredible story or anything.
No.
It's a comedy. So I think it definitely is hindered by being a comedy show and having the kind of first season woes. So I'm curious, as long as they get a second season, that's when I think we should actually start being
more
critical of it. But yeah, so far, I'm for it. I would back it for a second season.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested. I mean, what comedy show goes for a limited season? Like, I feel like
there are plenty of shows that only go for one season and then fail completely.
Well, right. But I'm saying like, what like comedy show that like only goes like for a limited amount of seasons? Like, I feel like comedies are just known to keep growing because it's just like you need to build off something, and then it's just kind of go with like what works. Like it's not, you're not gonna be able to nail that in one go. I feel like
it definitely garnered enough attention that I'd be shocked if it didn't get a second season. Whether people were absolutely in love with it or not, I didn't think the critics were too harsh on it.
No, everyone was kind of meh, mixed feelings.
But I think having a season to marinate, and then
I feel like just the people in it itself is going to give it a second season.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, the amount of people they had in there, like holy shit, like
for sure. I thought it was a travesty. Spoiler, kind of. That Patrick Warburton was in it. He's in the show. He's the army head
the other
or
general?
Something like that. He's one of the.
Yes.
They have a round table.
Yes.
Where they have the heads of each branch. And
all he does is he's in like 2 episodes.
He's in like 2 episodes whenever they're there. And I love Patrick Warburton. I wish he was in it more. But he's only in it like such a pinch in the grand scheme. But it's funny.
Yeah, and I'm shocked. I don't know the woman's name, but the other.
Is it Jane Lynch?
Maybe.
I think.
I mean, Glee. I don't know.
She was in
everyone
Glee.
knows her from Glee.
I think her name's Jane Lynch, but I don't know if I'm confusing her with another person.
I'm shocked she's not in. And she's her classic, like.
Oh my god.
She's her classic just like, oh my god, I can't even think of a line right now, but like,
just,
don't put your masculine bullshit on me. But like, she like makes fun of masculine comments and like
something
just
was like
downing all the men in the
somebody
room.
touched her, I think, and she goes, if you touch me again, I will fuck you in your ass, or something like that. And it was just like, oh my god.
And she's like, if you refer to my like feminine nature one more time, like I'm gonna do something demasculating to you, basically.
It was so funny.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that I think those were the two. I don't think any of the others. I was like, oh my god, they don't have more. But I mean, who knows? That could be like, that is where you need more seasons, like to have more interactivity. Yes, I am shocked they didn't have more, but like, I don't know. I don't know how it would work because their characters are kind of removed from the whole thing.
See, no, I think it's kind of like a touch in, like they're there, you know.
But I kind of love for them to come in
those like little
God.
moments.
It'd be great, but whatever. Yeah, there's so many. Just the names in there have to give it at least a second season.
It's good.
You can't tell me there would be another one.
Again, it's worth it. Like you can get through it pretty quick. I don't think it's a waste of your time. Just again, if you haven't seen it yet, do not go in thinking it's The Office, and if you don't do that, it's pretty good. If you go in hoping that it's The Office, it's not even a little close.
I also don't know how you compare years of a comedy growing to one season.
There's only one.
Like, how do you compare that?
There's only one show, in my opinion, that I can think of. Somebody can let me know if there's another, where somebody goes, "Oh, that's like The Office," and that's Parks and Rec.
Right, everyone
because it's like the same thing where it's like, you know, like multiple people have their moments, and it's like shot like a workplace thing.
Right.
Like maybe Brooklyn Nine-Nine could almost be seen like that. But you know, it like no matter what, they're all going to be different and stuff in like their little ways.
I mean, I'd want them to.
But yeah, Space Force overall stamp of approval.
Yeah.
Does it have the What's Happening pod stamp of approval?
Yeah, you're gonna have a good time watching it.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I laughed out loud a couple of times.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So I definitely, that to me says it had good parts at least.
Yeah.
Because it like, more often than not, comedy doesn't make
you actually laugh. Actually,
like it was like a belly laugh.
Yeah, no, some of them were pretty good parts, and it's overall, at least in my opinion, not like too stupid comedy. It's like pretty like, I'm not gonna say there aren't stupid parts, but it's not like we're just being dumb to make it funny.
Oh, definitely.
In the most part, which is a good thing. Also, can we just laugh at the real world thing that happened with Space Force?
Yes.
With the lawsuit and the the wannabe Space Force branch of the government and the whole lawsuit, and I believe they lost, right?
The government
That's official.
lost.
Yeah.
Netflix won.
Okay. Yeah.
Because
which is
it's
hysterical.
It's whoever actually
uses it and
makes something with the name first.
Which I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. It's crazy. Somebody like said that like Netflix used the name, and like the Netflix Space Force was able to, you know, put together money and make an entire show and put that out to the public, and the government Space Force has made a flag.
Yeah, in what, there was like 2 or 3 years or something. They like, something it was like a timeline.
Yeah.
It was really funny.
The point can be made that, well, it is a government branch, so like they're probably doing stuff behind the scenes too. But the fact that the only thing that the public has seen from it
is a flag.
Has been a flag, and Netflix has a full show with a whole concept, and you know,
a public backing at this point in some way or another.
So funny.
Yeah, it's actually really funny.
And again, it pokes fun at the government. It pokes fun at like government decisions in general. Mm-hmm. Like Steve Carell was like, oh, when I was in, is he Air Force, I think?
Yeah, he was Air Force.
He was like, oh, when I was in the Air Force, they were like, what do you do in a situation like this? And he was like, our go-to situation was always just blow it up.
And like, yeah, and like all the captains then, like, make fun of that. They're like, do you want to blow it up? And he's like, I don't know if that's gonna work. They're like, we can get a pretty big bomb in here. And they're like,
yeah, later on, he's like, I don't know, like he's talking to like, the government people, and they're like, just blow it up. And he's like, I don't think that's gonna work this time.
Yeah.
It's just funny.
That's great.
Okay, Space Force.
Yes.
So we watched a season of Altered Carbon.
Yeah.
We watched season 2 of Altered Carbon. We're caught up on Altered Carbon.
We're so busy.
We watched season 1 of Space Force. Yeah. We're caught up on Space Force. We then watched season 1 and we're like a couple of episodes of season 2 of Hannibal. And this is relevant because it just got put on Netflix.
Yeah.
It's a 2015, I think was the last season.
2013 to 2015, the show aired, I believe. Yep, yeah. 2013 to 2015.
It's a crime, I don't know, you call it like a thriller almost.
Yeah, I was gonna say, honestly, at first when I, because I've heard of it, I didn't really know anything about it though.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely thought it would be like, oh, like your kind of typical crime show, you know, there's like weird shit just every episode is you kind of trying to solve a crime, or maybe it spans a couple episodes. Like, I was ready for that, which I love those shows, you know, I'll watch them forever. And I remember like the preview was like two kind of FBI specialists, which we find out they're like they were brought in by the FBI and to kind of be specialists. They obviously aren't actually accredited to any FBI usage, but they're just like, oh, two specialists kind of help solve crime, like notorious crimes, focusing more so on like serial killers or like special crimes of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, but you find out like one of them has a secret I don't know what word they used, like activity or something, or like they're into like bad things. And I was like, oh, okay, so one of them's gonna be like a crooked something or another. Holy shit. And that's just me probably being ignorant, going and not knowing anything about it. Was I thrown for a loop? This is absolutely more like thriller. It's such an intense show.
It's literally called Hannibal.
Yeah, I wasn't.
The guy's Hannibal Lecter.
I know, I wasn't paying attention to any of it.
Oh my god.
It like didn't click for the long. It took me so long for it to click.
So yeah, it's Hannibal Lecter, who, if you know, he's a what I didn't realize is it was like he's a cannibal. He's a homicidal cannibal, right?
Well, he's based off a literary character who's a cannibal.
Yes.
The show made him a serial killer in addition?
No, I think he was a serial
killer. Okay. I mean, I guess if you're a serial cannibal, you're a serial killer.
Yeah. Serial cannibal, yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, the Netflix description like says that.
Right.
I didn't know who played who.
Right.
I saw Mads Mikkelsen was in it, and I was like, nice, he's a pretty good actor. He is Hannibal, first off. We didn't realize that. So in like the first episode, there's a guy talking in front of a class, who we find out is Will Graham.
Yep.
And I thought he was Hannibal.
Oh, me too. Immediately.
So I was like, wait, he's teaching people, but then he's like getting in on the murders and he's going to like start eating people? No, like we find out that.
Yeah.
But Hannibal works closely, which is, I guess, similar to the books, the literary character, Hannibal Lecter, because he, I guess, evades the police and FBI for a while before eventually getting caught. And then he does end up helping them. We haven't hit that point yet in the show.
No, I
if
mean,
it happens at all. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it is a really good show.
Well, I mean, it's crazy.
They've done it really well because the guy, like, you think watching a show, how is he going to keep getting away with this? And like they get close, honestly, but they don't even know it's him yet, right?
Right, like he's helping he's helping the government solve crimes, whilst doing his own, and they have no idea. Like, we're so used to the storyline of, like you said, you get caught and then they ask you for your help. We're very used to that. We're used to that being a storyline. And I'm just like, holy shit, like, it's so nerve-wracking because he's literally like he's solving them and creating new ones for them at its own. It's like, I feel like stupid, like being so caught off guard by a 2013 TV show, but like it has just thrown me off and it like makes me anxious watching it, but in like the best way possible.
The best part is I'm super excited that it's only 3 seasons because that tells me that they probably nail it. Like, it's probably
go ahead.
It's probably extremely well done that they, season 1 was really good. Season 2 so far has been good and interesting. I'm thinking like, in the timeline, it would make sense that like season 2 they get him, and then all of like season 3 or something they're using him to help with like the other crimes, because that would kind of follow along with like how the character is. I don't know again if that's for a fact or not, but that to me seems logical and would help to like give it like a somewhat natural end.
Well, Let me give you some facts.
And the best part about it is when we were kind of looking it up, we were like, why haven't we heard about this show and stuff like that? Like, is it actually good? 8.5 on IMDb.
Has ridiculously good
92% on Rotten Tomatoes, and 9.1 on TV.com. Those are just like the three main ratings that are there on like a Google search of the show.
Yeah, so you
could have muted your mic to do that.
Oh, I could have, sorry. So I Googled it so I could look at the actors because I never know anyone's names or faces. But the top articles on Google were why was Hannibal canceled, and like NBC finally, I guess it was like a big secret that they wouldn't release why it was canceled. So that leads me to believe, and I just glanced the article very quickly, that it was just low ratings. Like by the third season, there were very few people watching it. But it like started out as such a hit in season 1 and like through season 2, but then fell off like drastically. So they decided to stop it. And they were saying that like fans were shocked that like it just stopped out of nowhere. So that
maybe
worries
it
me.
Doesn't have a good ending.
It doesn't have an ending because they weren't planning for an ending. 2, other article. Hannibal fans convinced Netflix is preparing for season 4.
Well, and Netflix is known to do that sometimes.
Buy all the rights and just keep it like revamp it basically and start it back up.
I think it's trending on Netflix. Netflix has that new system to say like top 10 in the US and stuff like that.
I was saying these are all like not proven. There hasn't been statements, but they've all come out in the past 24 hours of people being like, no, like something's gonna happen with the show. Like it has gained traction on Netflix. Everyone's watching it, and people are like, it might come back.
That's super interesting too, because it now leads me to like wonder, because obviously Community's back on Netflix. People are freaking out about that. Would they potentially make a final season of Community? I think Netflix and just other like streaming services kind of have this ability to revive without completely remaking something. They can kind of revive a show by getting it back and in the eyes of a lot of people who at the time just missed it.
Yeah, no, definitely.
And they are able to binge it, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, weird, there's no true ending. And Netflix or Hulu or whatever can give it that true ending if they see there's enough.
Right. No, definitely.
There. So I think that's really interesting. I think we might start seeing that more. They gave Arrested Development a new season. We were talking about that. That show came out in like 2001, 2003. Had 3 seasons, 3 straight years. And then season 4 and season 5 came out, I think, in like 2016 by Netflix. And so now it's considered like a Netflix original. Like it's in that vein because it's got, a season created solely by Netflix.
I guess sorry, I'm just digging through this article. Extra thoughts of, I guess Netflix has been digitally enhancing parts of the show to make it easier for people to watch on Netflix, because I guess like people were literally like writing in complaints and being like, season 1 episode 8 was really dark, I couldn't read it, or like the subtitles are all messed up, and Netflix is actively going in and fixing it because it is such a current thing that people are watching. I mean, there's like a whole thread of tweets and articles all from within the past 48 hours of people being like, Netflix is going in, fixing subtitles, increasing brightness, uncensoring scenes, like letting the fans watch it how they want to watch it. Like, why would they do that if they weren't somehow invested in this? Like, there's so many titles on Netflix. Like, why are they listening to the fans and going in and making changes to make it a better experience?
The show itself reminds me a lot of like The Following, which had a good ending. So I kind of hope this does, but apparently it's not gonna have a good ending.
Who knows? They could have prepared, but
it doesn't seem that way.
No, it
doesn't. So far that's kind of how it kind of plays out, and it's good. I really enjoy it. Lawrence Fishburne is also in it.
Hell yeah.
He's really good. He's like the head of the FBI unit that is like going after it. It's just really well done. It's super interesting, and it's like how are they going to catch the killer while also catching these other serial killers that are popping up? Very interesting. It's a good watch.
On your toes for sure.
So yeah, we're 1 season through that. Next podcast will honestly probably be done with it. Knowing us. But yeah, Hannibal. Great show. I'm sure most of you are already watching it, but if you haven't for some reason, if you're not seeing it, if you like crime shows, it's a good one. It's very interesting.
This one is definitely more dark than I'm used to for crime shows. I like do want to put that out there because I mean I feel like I've watched a good bit of crime shows in my life and I do enjoy them. This one definitely is a little extra dark, a little extra gruesome in some areas. So I do kind of want to put that out there. Like I feel like if you're someone who was kind of easily disturbed by Criminal Minds, you like might want to kind of keep an eye on this one just in case you are like easily kind of freaked out. But it is so good. Like it's such a good, like a crazy experience to watch it. So I do just want to. I feel like it is a lot gruesome out there.
It is, yeah. It is. It's got its gruesome moments. I mean, it's a guy who eats people, so you got to keep that in mind too.
Yeah.
How much time we got?
We should probably like wrap up pretty soon. I'm laughing. I mean, we have like 6 minutes and then we're already at.
Okay.
We're over 50 minutes right now.
Okay.
But is this just gonna turn into us talking about Netflix every?
I mean, for the most part, we're probably gonna be talking about shows and stuff that we're watching.
Unless we actually do something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean.
That's kind of the purpose, right? It's the media.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Which.
It's just funny.
There's one other form of media that we can dip into real quick.
I was gonna let you end it on this one.
Perfect. Yeah. So as we wrap up this final episode, I just want to put this on everybody's radar. It's probably going to be how we wrap up most episodes until this new media comes out. I am talking about
the one and only,
the only Bug Snacks.
Now wait, to anyone who might have never heard of that,
SNAX, Bug Snacks. It is a new game that I believe is going to be a PS5 exclusive or a timed exclusive.
It's currently limited on the Epic Game Store.
It's listed on the Epic Game
Store? It says coming soon on the Epic Game Store.
That makes sense. I mean, so it's potentially console-wise going to be a PS5 exclusive, though.
Yes. Probably.
It's a new game from the creators of Octodad. Oh my god, this game is wow. Just wow. Not much can be said about it because the
we
trailer
don't know anything about it.
Doesn't give off much except a banger of a song. Neat looking graphics.
Yeah, it's fun looking.
Go watch the trailer.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you have like 2 or 3 minutes
to the land
go
of Bug Snacks.
Go watch the trailer, take it in, maybe watch it again, really try to go over it and be like, what the fuck is going on?
We won't dive into it too much this episode. We'll dive more into it hopefully next time. But
wait for the day we have a whole episode dedicated.
It'll just be kind of whenever we have stuff to talk about. We'll wrap up with a quick thing. As of right now, we don't have a release date for it, but it's definitely on my radar, and I can't wait to play that game. Yeah,
I'd say the funniest thing about this, which I know I've now already talked about your stream once, but I'm going to talk about it again. If you ever are just like, wow, these 2 cool cats I listen to, I want to hang out with, you should come over to the Basement Gamer stream because we talk about everything and anything, stupid life problems, Bug Snacks.
And we happened to talk about Bug Snacks a little too long yesterday.
Very much.
And it may or may not have been my best stream yet. So.
It was so funny, but you should come hang out with us. But we talked about this for so long with people, and I think we're starting to get other people excited about it.
Because we're so fucking annoying.
Which is so scary. Our form of comedy is let's repeat something we heard or said 500 times until the people around us start repeating it. And so we are doing that with Bug Snacks. And literally the Epic Game Store, like I cannot describe to you how little we know about this game. We know absolutely nothing. And when you watch the trailer, you won't even know what's going on. You don't know how this game's going to work. You don't know what you're doing in the game. You know nothing. You just know this world exists of Bug Snacks. And literally the only description on the Epic Game Store is we are what we eat. Bug Snacks takes you on a whimsical adventure to Snacktooth Island, home of the legendary half bug, half snack creatures. Bug Snacks. That's it. That's the whole description of the game because that's all they have. They have nothing. There was nothing given to anyone to go off of. And that's what we're screaming to the world. We're screaming to the world to
about nothing. Be
ready for Bug Snacks, a game we can't even tell you what the fuck you're going to be doing.
I think I have some ideas.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's also a subreddit that has some ideas of what's going to be happening.
But I think I have like a legitimate idea based on...
Maybe we'll have maybe next podcast we can, if more information comes out or anything, or there's more theories created, we can do a whole 10 minutes where we're like, what's going to be Bug Snacks?
I'm excited.
But yeah, this is our new obsession. Look out, world. Bug Snacks is coming.
All right. As always, if you guys have anything that you would like to recommend to us, any topics, any shows, any movies, anything.
Any fun thing that happened in your life.
Let us know. You can send it over to us on social media.
Hell yeah.
Or leave it down in the comments on the YouTube video, and we will be sure to check it out and try and talk about it the next time. Anything else to add, Shelby, before we go?
No, I think that's it. If you want to share us.
Ooh, yes. And please rate this podcast so we know if you like it.
Give it a good old like, a follow on Spotify, a rate on iTunes, or I don't think we're on iTunes yet, but like Google Play and stuff like that. And just share it and be like, yo, this is what's happening with your friends, Tell them what's happening. I think that's it. That was how I advertised us.
We'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Stay safe.
Yeah, seriously. Butt snacks.